of her hospital support staff.
Medicine will never be the same again. Hospitals will never be the same again. As human beings, will never be the same again. And I, for one, think that as a hospital, we are closer to each other than we were before, and that we have a sense of common purpose.
Are you proud of what's being achieved here?
I'm incredibly proud. I'm incredibly proud.
Jeremy Cook reporting from Glencloyd Hospital in North Wales. There is controversy in Devon over a proposed sculpture of two pirates, Anne Bonny and Mary Read. Now, the sculpture's to be placed overlooking the sea at Bur Island. The Mail Online headline is, plan for 8-foot statue of lesbian pirates at Devon beauty spot notorious for smuggling triggers uproar. It goes on, critics slam the sculpture as patriarchal view of two skinny women with holes cut out. That gives you a sense of the argument. Look for the pictures of the sculpture to decide if you agree with the characterisation. One thing the argument has done, though, is highlight the existence of women pirates like Anne and Mary. Intriguing. Pandora Collin is an actress who's currently writing a play about women pirates through history. Pandora, I really did not know much about them. They're not the picture of my typical pirate, Long John Silver and all of that. Tell us about Anne and Mary first. Are these where and when were these two?
Well, hello, Mary. There is a vague connection to the. I think a lot of the objections with regards to the Bur Island location is that there doesn't appear to be a connection. Mary was allegedly born there in Devon, not Bur Island, but in Devon, and Anne was from Ireland, and they actually only pirated together for a couple of years, famously on the ship of Calico Jack Rackham, and there are loads of details from their stories that are never filled in, and that's interesting that you say that you weren't so aware of them. That is the sort of big issue with regards to female pirates, is that their stories are barely covered by historians.
It's interesting, yeah. And when kids dress up as pirates, it's normally the boys, I'm thinking, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. The dressing up clothes for kids, it's boys, and you do get lady pirate costumes. They get a little adult themed. If you want to get one for the ladies, which also speaks volumes. It seems to be the only way to sort of make it interesting.
You're looking into all of this and have been reading about women pirates through history. How important is women's piracy?
Well, it's as important as men's piracy. It's we can't get away from the fact, which I did read some of the objections on the council website, completely understandably, people don't necessarily seem to be having an issue with the statues themselves. It's just the location of the proposed location. But, yes, they were thieves and murderers on a grand scale, so that is an issue. But if you are going to sort of have them as a cornerstone narrative, historical narrative, these characters that, Hollywood seems happy to make at least 7 films of a franchise out of. There's plenty to say, if not more, I would say, about female pirates, because women choosing to be pirates, the stakes are even higher. The adventures they get up to are even more jaw-dropping by dint of the fact that they're women, and so they're risking so much more.
Yeah. Didn't Mary dress up as a man? Is that right? Is it?
They both did. So they had this in common. They were both dressed as boys in order to sort of access various family stipends as children. So they were amazingly both spent a lot of their childhoods as little boys. And then kind of sort of gave that up she couldn't hide the fact that she was a woman, whereas Mary seemed physically more able to. She joined the Navy and fought with the Flemish against the Spanish until she fell in love with a Flemish soldier and they got married, but he died. So she went back into the Navy as a man, as Mark Read, which was how she'd sort of basically been living for most of her life. And she boarded Rackham's ship as Mark Read, and so history tells us Rackham became very jealous of Anne and Mark's relationship, and Mary had to reveal her true self in order to avoid having her throat slit.
This is going to be great stuff when you write a play about all of this, Pandora. It's obviously replete with stories every bit as good as any other pirate stories. You have 10 seconds to tell me about the greatest woman pirate of all, a Chinese one, in fact, but literally 10 seconds.
Okay, Cheng Yi Sao, she had 400 ships, 40 to 60,000 pirates. She set up banks to house her enormous wealth, and she had to negotiate with China for the safe retirement of all her pirates in exchange for leaving the Cantonese ports
Fascinating.
alone.
A story not told enough. Pandora, Colin, thanks so much for joining us.
More than 100 million people